One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistlers report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
We all made it to Thanksgiving. Much love, honor, and respect to all of you freaking legends in the building. Shout out to all of you guys. We all made it, and we're all very thankful to have made it, as well as I'm very thankful for all of you guys, man. I can't do this shit without you guys, obviously, so this is dedicated to you and everyone that supports this channel, man. So, nonetheless, we got DC National Guard shooting, as you guys saw that happen yesterday. If you guys follow the mainstream media / social media and all that stuff, it was a huge topic that happened, but there wasn't a lot of information originally when it was breaking. So we have now, obviously, 24 hours, basically. Well, I mean, it happened a little less than whatever. We've had hours in between now to be able to actually get some information. So it's a little bit focused on this whole DC National Guard shooting today. Obviously, because you guys know it's Thanksgiving Day, and the mainstream media is focused on like New York City parade. They're all live streaming the parade and shit. So there's no like real actual news shit going on in the media like that, aside from the updates that we have here. Now, the way that we're going to start this off this morning is prosecutors drop Trump's Georgia election interference case. Very interesting. And that's a very, very quick update. It's like 2.5 minutes. But that's a big deal. And then we have, of course, the breaking of the 2 National Guard members shot near the White House. We have the original breaking story on that. And then the way that they kind of explain it, we're going to skip through all of it because there's going to be a lot of information that's going to be repeated through these. So we're going to skip through it and figure out what is happening in real time, right? So the next one is National Guard shooting. Suspect is in custody. Troops critically wounded. And then this is breaking, this happened 18 hours ago, breaking. Multiple National Guard members shot, conflicting fatality reports. Now, I heard the guy is still alive, that he shot himself and he's in critical condition. He may have died already and it may be reported. I don't know, but we're going to find that out together. Then Vance on the DC shooting, he says, quote, say a prayer for National Guard troops. I'm sure that he did. And then we have Hegseth that comes out and the National Guard troops on them. Hegseth responds, orders 500 more troops to D.C. Fuck around, you might find out. D.C. shooting update as well, investigated as possible terrorism. Suspect is an Afghan national.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Afghani, huh? Anyways, then Trump comes out and puts out a message for the nation and the world actually about the DC shooting. So and by the way, I haven't watched any of it. And then we also have Kash Patel that's going to get involved. Full remarks from Kash Patel and Jeanine Pirro. Update on National Guard shooting. So that is what what we currently have as a lineup here. So anyways, before we get into all of this, we got to do our call to actions real quick. So make sure you guys do hitting the like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's absolutely free to do so. If you're on the vertical side, double tap that screen. I very much appreciate you guys. And also subscribe because it's free. But please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep these lights on as well as be on these airwaves, being able to do this every day. So very much appreciate you guys becoming members and staying members. Well, side note, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord channel for all of you guys. The server is, we have the majority of you in there, but we're like missing like 2%. So make sure you guys join up on that. We have a link down in the description down below for every single live video for all the links. So make sure you guys check that out. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And, of course, I will read out whatever you guys send as basically like a super chat. So I've got my email brought up. And we'll get right to it. So anyways, all right, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Happy Turkey Day to everybody. See Papa Penguin in here. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well as S&S. We got Lurk It Up with Poncho, my man. Great to see you. We got Extra Surprise as well. We got Jason, my man, over there in Chicagoland. Always appreciate you as well. We got Taylor as well as Mountain Woman. Always appreciate you ladies. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. We got Brendan Smith. Oh man, says pray for me and my family. My mother passed away yesterday. Oh man, that's fucking tragic, dude. I'm extremely sorry to hear that. That's terrible news, man. But hopefully she's now in a good place, you know, as good as it can be. So we got Frank in the building as well, saying morning, Mike. Always appreciate you as well. Good morning to you, kind sir. We got Dr. Harley in the building as well. Shout out to my man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get right into this. So this is not regards to the DC shooting, okay? This is one of the stories this morning that is not regarded to the DC shooting. Prosecutors dropped Trump's Georgia election interference case. Let's bring this up and talk about it.
Right now, I do want to take you back to some breaking news that we are following at this hour as we take a look at this post coming in. This is from the Associated Press. You can see there on your screen, breaking, new prosecutor dismisses charges against President Donald Trump and others in Georgia election interference case. Again, this is just one of the criminal cases against President Donald Trump where those charges have been dropped here. The prosecutor recently took over that interference case against Trump and others, saying in a court filing today that he has decided not to pursue the case any further. The executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia took over the case last month from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who was removed over a, quote, appearance of impropriety created by a romantic relationship with the special prosecutor that she chose to lead the case. Now,
what?
it's unlikely that legal action against Trump could have moved forward while he's president, but 14 other defendants who still faced charges, including former New York mayor and Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani and former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, would have still faced charges. However, that is no longer the case. Right now, you are taking a live look outside of the White House as we're hearing from Steve Sado, Trump's lead attorney in Georgia, who applauded the case's dismissal, saying, quote, the political persecution of President Trump by disqualified.
What's up, Gary, and happy Thanksgiving.
DA Fani Willis is finally over. This case should never have been brought. A fair and impartial prosecutor has put an end to this lawfare. Other criminal cases involving President Trump have been dropped as well. Former DOJ special counsel Jack Smith, who had charged Trump with conspiring to overturn the results of the election in 2020 and hoarding classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, dropped both cases after Trump won the White House last year, citing longstanding Justice Department policy against the indictment of a sitting president.
Wow. I mean, so there's been a lot of weird W's and weird L's happening lately for the Trump administration.
Yeah. And though Trump was convicted of felony charges in New York in connection with hush money
What's up, Jimmy Mack?
payments during the 2016 election, he was sentenced in January to an unconditional discharge, leaving that conviction intact, but sparing him any punishment. As we get any update on this information here, we will make sure to bring it to you.
Of course, anything else that comes out, of course, you guys know that that's going to be what I report on. And I heard that, by the way. Gary says turkey's in the oven. It's time for me to get baked. Yes, sir. I heard that. Sounds good. All right, we're going to get right into this, though. The 2 National Guard members shot near the White House. Now, we're going to give you guys, obviously, what has happened leading up to this whole thing to current time. So we're going to start off with the breaking news of this, and we'll go ahead and start from there and figure out basically what the case is in totality here. Because there's a lot of different information. Well, there's a lot of information that has come out since.
All right, that event continues on right there in a digital form. We come back live with some breaking news that we are monitoring outside near the White House. We are learning from the Associated
What's up, Tiffany? And happy Thanksgiving to you and Lee and the family.
Press reporting right now that 2 National Guardsmen have been shot near the White House. Active investigation is going on right now, and you can see the report there from the AP. Darlene Superville said,
Not right now, by the way. This happened yesterday.
2 National Guard members have been shot in Washington, D.C., and their condition isn't known at this time. We want to go out to the coverage of Fox 5 D.C., and looks like they are on this right now. Let's just show you the
It's going to be a lot of cops.
scene that you are seeing right now play out in D.C. Let's listen in from Fox 5 D.C.
There was reportedly an active shooter near 17th and I Streets. You see D.C. police on scene. More than a dozen cruisers are there near 17th and I. This is near the White House.
Yeah, so Homa, the National Guard, as we know, they have been stationed across the city with mainly a support role for that federal surge that
Really, what I want to find out is from this whole thing, I want to figure out what the motive was. Like, why did he actually go out and do this? Like, and how did he do it? I mean, obviously, we're going to probably hear how he did it before we hear why. But apparently, he is an Afghani national, so Afghan national.
President Trump put into effect.
It's going to be interesting.
Summer, but we have also seen a scaling back. We have also seen legal challenges to it. We know that some were supposed to be sent home. There was a recent ruling that the Guard was here illegally, but there was a 3-week wait for the Trump administration to be able to.
Well, yeah, there's a buffer there. Real quick, we got Chatting with Stacks in the building. Shout out to my man, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, man. Always appreciate you and your show and what you do, man. So happy Thanksgiving, man.
Challenge that. So still a lot of people stationed here from not just here in D.C. as well, but also Guard members from Ohio, Louisiana, Tennessee, West Virginia as well.
And if you've been in D.C., in and around the district, anytime in the last few months, you have seen them. They are at metro stops. They are at the National Mall. They have been walking all around city streets. Chris, like you said, they have been starting to dwindle their numbers down.
We also, remember, there was a debate over whether or not they would be armed when they were on the street, whether they would be carrying.
Well, if you actually were observant of my channel there, Lorda, or whatever your fucking name is, you would understand that I'm actually hypercritical of Trump. So, GG on that.
Weapons with them. So that is probably one of the major questions here, too, is whether or not, if this was a random attack, if they were armed and able to even defend themselves.
And, right now, MPD saying that they're on.
We got Steve Posey up in the building saying, good morning, Mike Ball and the Breakfast Club, and happy Thanksgiving to all the turkeys in the chat. Yes, sir. Good to see you, man.
It's an active shooting at 17th and I Street. They're asking people avoid the area. They're shutting down streets. It appears that the White House area around the White House may be locked down. Yemisi,
well, of course it's going to be fucking locked down. Now, let's see if they get any other images here. They flew around and are getting a little bit of a different image here.
As of now,
but there is a lot of cops obviously stationed up, as you would expect. So we're going to move on, though, because we got lots of updates on this whole thing. Okay, so suspect is now in custody, troops critically wounded. Now, I have heard that both of the troops have died. That's what I have heard. Now, I don't know that to be the fact yet, but that is what I have heard.
And right now, the White House is releasing a statement. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, saying that the White House is aware and actively monitoring this tragic situation, and the president has been briefed. Again,
we've been listening to Fox 5 DC coverage. We will continue to be giving you the latest updates. We'll check back in with them in just moments, but we want to give you some additional updates that we are learning from our newsroom right now. And we are being told by the DC Police Department, this is a big update, that the scene is secured. One suspect right now in custody. So that is good news, as there was reports there of maybe the active shooter was still going on, but now that suspect in custody. Also,
so obviously saying per DC Police and DHS Secretary Noam saying that those were the reporters, police and the DHS Secretary Noam are the people who are basically reporting or talking about that Trump has been briefed per his press secretary. Details are unclear at that time. Now, we're not going to go ahead and sit through them like trying to like sit here and ponder on it. We're going to skip ahead and try to actually figure out what the fuck is happening here. Obviously, you guys see the scene. It's taped off. Obviously, it's going to be a big ass deal. There's going to be a humongous police presence now, including National Guard as well, as you guys saw there. So we're going to go ahead and move on though. Multiple National Guards members shot, conflicting fatality reports are coming out. So let's go ahead and figure out what the conflicting reports are.
And now we are unfortunately getting,
and this is a very quick update.
New details, and it is very tragic regarding the shooting of the two guardsmen. We are learning from the governor of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, saying it is with great sorrow that we can confirm both members of the West Virginia National Guard who were shot earlier today in Washington, D.C. have passed away from their injuries. These brave West Virginians lost their lives in the service of their country. We are in ongoing contact with federal officials as the investigation continues. Our entire state grieves with their families, their loved ones, and the National Guard community. West Virginia will never forget.
Real quick before he finishes that, we got a Cash App that just came in from Brother Lee coming in saying for $3 saying happy Thanksgiving, OG. My man, thank you very much for making it rain in the Cash App, my man. And happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well, man. Always appreciate you and yours. And that's what I'm thankful for. Literally, today is I'm thankful for you guys, man. So very appreciative.
Get their service or their sacrifice, and we will demand full accountability for this horrific act. Again, confirmed from the governor of West Virginia, the two guardsmen have died from that tragic shooting in Washington, D.C. We want to go back out now to the coverage of Fox 5 D.C. They continue to bring the very latest updates. Let's listen.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out together, Jimmy Mac, because I guess there were conflicting reports, as the media is saying here. But I had heard that both of them had died too, so it's interesting.
As they continue to
we're going to find out.
Live out in D.C. Let's listen in.
Every day they do what they're going to do, and these people protest. They throw bottle rockets at them, and today it looks like an ambush.
Oh, it looks like Steve's May has a little update on that.
An ambush, and you know what? When they call 911, guess what? The police go, the National Guard shows up. We do our jobs, and yet they condemn us. They say fry like pigs. You got these advocates who are more concerned about rights of defendants and criminals and will go after law enforcement. But the one thing is, they do all this to law enforcement. We're the only profession that turns around, and we respond with a 911.
This guy that's speaks with a like almost that like little, hey there, Sally. Hey, Sally. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's got a little bit of that Herbert. You know,
we don't care what color you are. We don't care what your religion is. We don't care your politics. We say, where's your emergency? And we go. And these National Guardmen are not trained, but they're thrown into law enforcement positions when they're there.
No, it's not quite a lisp. It's not quite a lisp. It's where they whistle when they speak, you know. Hey, I can't do it, man. I don't know how they do it. Hey there. I forget how does Herbert do it. Fuck. Y'all want some popsicles? Popsicles? I can't do it, dude.
Absolutely, and we see that presence, that extreme law enforcement presence right now on the screen. I do want to read this statement from West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey. He just released this statement during the last few minutes.
Yeah, the popsicle bit, bro.
After we have learned that two National Guards members from West Virginia have been killed in this shooting. Governor Morrisey saying, Denise and I are devastated by the news that two members of the West Virginia National Guard were shot earlier today in Washington, D.C. According to reports, both members did not survive.
So according to those original reports there, she said right there that both of them did not survive. Now, again, there's conflicting reports on this.
Both members did not survive. We're in direct contact with our Guard and other officials and are working to obtain the most accurate information as quickly as possible. He goes on to say our prayers are with these brave service members, their families, and the extraordinary men and women of our Guard who put themselves on the line every day. West Virginia stands united behind them. We will do everything in our power to support their families as they endure this unimaginable loss and will not rest until justice is served. If you're just now joining us.
Okay, I was hoping that there was going to be her explaining the other report or some shit, but okay. So now there's a very, very brief thing that happened. I guess Vance was speaking on the DC shooting and said, quote, say a prayer for the National Guard troops. Not really sure if there's any more context to this, but we're going to find out together. It's only a minute and like 30 seconds long.
Vice President J.D. Vance just came on stage. He is spending time with the troops. We want to see his comments right off the top. Let's listen in.
Beautiful Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and let me just say, I want to say first, before we get started, on a somber note, we had, and some of you may have seen this on your phones or on social media, but apparently there was a shooting outside the White House just a couple of hours ago, and we're still learning everything. We still don't know the motive. There's a lot that we haven't yet figured out, but what we do know is that a couple of National Guardsmen were injured in the line of duty. And first of all, I want everybody who's a person of faith to say a prayer for those two National Guardsmen that they're able to spend Thanksgiving with their families instead of losing their lives.
Yeah, I actually have the update. Not the next one, but the one after that. DC shooting update investigated as possible terrorism. Suspect is an Afghan national.
I understand they're still in pretty tough condition, but I think it's a somber reminder that soldiers, whether they're active duty, reserve, or National Guard, our soldiers are the sword and the shield of the United States of America. And as a person who goes into work...
Well, Ray, I'll tell you one thing. I heard both died, and then we've got conflicting reports. You got reports saying one survived and one died, and then you have reports saying that both are in critical condition. So there's conflicting reports right now. We're going to find out.
Every single day in
I got the updates here.
And knows that there are a lot of people who wear the uniform of the United States Army. Let me just say very personally, thank them for what they're doing. We're grateful to them, and we're praying that they're going to be safe and they're going to spend Thanksgiving with their families. God bless them. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the business of the Army and about what you're doing and about why it's important to the United States of America and why we are every single one of our soldiers here in Fort Campbell and
all right, Vice President J.D. Vance speaking in Kentucky as he was meeting with troops earlier today.
All right, so that's enough of that. Now we're going to move over to Pete Hegseth and what he's got to say. This is what the title is. National Guard troops shot. Hegseth responds, orders 500 more troops to D.C. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll go ahead and talk about it for a second. And here we go. This is a quick update, too. It's only like 3 minutes.
Very productive meetings, but I want to start by saying after those meetings, myself and my team were notified.
Can we get some decent audio, please, fuckers?
Bruh. That 2 National Guard.
You guys have unlimited funding. I have zero funding, okay? Aside from the IWF. You guys, the family, make this happen. But aside from that, these guys actually get millions and millions of fucking dollars funded. How can you not get your audio right?
Has been shot in Washington, D.C., critically wounded. The shooter shot in a cowardly, dastardly act targeting the best of America. Heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met because they love their country and their capital and their community. They were willing to do dangerous things others were not because they love their fellow Americans. Someone decided to turn that into targeting National Guardsmen.
We got Hardwire coming in hot. Hopefully you're, also enjoying your Thanksgiving morning as well. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, obviously. And yeah, man, it's going to be a good time on your show tonight. Hopefully I'm able to make it. But I'll text you and let you know as the night gets going,
We'll only stiffen our resolve. We will never back down. We will secure our capital. We will secure our cities. In fact, this happened just steps away from the White House. We will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army, to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has...
Well, the drop in crime recently has gone down, obviously, aside from a few different murders that have happened, not aside from this case. We got TVT in the building, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your... well, for you, it's just a normal day, isn't it, up there in Canada? But hey, man, I very much appreciate that.
Been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic.
And speaking outside of the country, by the way, we got Crystal Strange over there from South Africa. Appreciate you, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your afternoon yourself.
But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him. America and our warriors, our National Guardsmen, are strong. So we're following this very closely. We're getting information rapidly. And I mentioned the faith of this country, the Christian faith, the prayers. I would ask for prayers for our National Guardsmen. Appeals to heaven for our National Guardsmen, for their families, on bended knee as a War Department, as a nation.
The one thing that Pete Hegseth, he's good at, his military speaking and stuff like that. But when it comes to stuff like this, he doesn't seem super genuine. Just saying. He is hurt because it hurts the reputation of what they're doing. That's what he cares about. But the genuineness of it, it's kind of lackluster there.
Excuse me. We will never back down.
Excuse me.
About them right now.
Venezuela.
We had a couple of great productive meetings with the President and Minister of Defense here, where we are dedicated to the counter-cartel effort here. Criminality knows no boundaries, whether it's the United States of America and Washington, D.C., or it's the Caribbean and the Western Hemisphere. We are going to go after narco-terrorists. It will not stand. Our borders will be secure, whether it's the Dominican Republic or the United States of America, and we look forward to working with our partners to make it happen. President Trump believes in a clear principle: peace.
Yes, Jason, it's on 1.25, as all my shit is, usually. Unless we're watching some sort of, cop videos or something like that where we're watching movements of people. I want to have a realistic view of what we're watching. But when it comes to politics, I speed these motherfuckers up. I condense everything into 1 hour, and that's it.
Through strength. You get peace by being strong. And if you're a narco-terrorist...
I don't sit here trying to grift, you know what I mean? I get in and get out with the information.
...terrorist who wants to bring drugs to the United States of America, we will find you, we will fix you, and we will finish you. Because we have all the rights in the world. We've got lots of attorneys and lots of intel analysts, and we know exactly who we're targeting and why. If you're involved in that conduct, we will kill you. It's that deadly serious because of the poison that has made its way into the American public for far too long. President Trump is serious about it. We're serious about it. And
so he was talking about a couple of different things, but what was important to note here is that basically Hegseth has responded with orders of 500 more troops to D.C. That is the importance of why this was brought up. All right, so real quick, remember, everybody, we've got over 114 people in here. Make sure you guys hit the like button, as well as double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side. And always remember to always embrace your fuck ups.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my God!
Shit. All right. DC shooting update. Investigated as possible terrorism. Suspect is Afghan national. Let's go and bring this up and see if they actually have some pictures of the dude. It'd be nice to actually know what he looks like, but let's go ahead. And a name. I'd like a name too.
Okay, let's continue tracking the latest. As I showed you, Brooke Taylor of Fox News saying sources are telling her, law enforcement sources telling her, that the shooter...
So we are smoking/baking a turkey because there's like a 50-50 that ordeal thing that's going on this evening. And we're doing a deep fried turkey. Last year we just did a baked turkey and a fried turkey, but this time we're adding the smoke to it.
Shooter in D.C. is an illegal migrant from Afghanistan who came in during Operation Allies Welcome under the Biden administration
What's up,
and then
Fupa?
overstayed that visa.
What's up, Fupa? Always remember, if it looks like a Fupa, eat it like a chalupa.
Bruh.
All right, back to this.
This is some of the first details we're hearing about this suspect, retired Marine intelligence officer, national security analyst.
Real quick, we got Straight Jacket. That's Straight Jacket in the building. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thanksgiving morning so far. Great to see you in the chat, bro.
And host of the Strat podcast, Hal Kempfer, is here with me.
I'm going to mod you.
When you hear some of Brooks' reporting, what can we glean from this at this hour?
Well, what we can glean from that is that when the White House and the president kind of indicated that it might be terrorism, this definitely has the hallmarks of terrorism. I mean, if he is, as it's reported, an Afghan national overstayed his visa, well, that kind of indicates that there was probably a political objective in what he was doing. It was definitely everything we've heard is that these two soldiers and National Guard soldiers in general were being deliberately targeted, and this. When you start connecting the dots, it's tough to escape that this was not.
Oh, wow. Interesting, Ray. So he says he was more than an Afghan national. He was actually military. We trained him with a CIA, with the CIA. That's very interesting.
More likely than not, I should say, an act of terrorism. And now it's not big. It's not 9/11 style or scope, but it is still.
It's still terrorism. Yeah.
What he did. And we'll find out more about his motives. You know, there could have been, some mental illness issues, or could have been other things involved. That doesn't necessarily negate the
Happy Thanksgiving, brother sick bastard. Always appreciate you, man.
That this was a terrorist act, but definitely this definitely ups the I should say the immigration enforcement challenge. We've seen some protests, we've seen some violent protests, but now what we're seeing is a direct targeting, with deadly, the intent certainly was deadly force. And so that changes the threat picture, that changes the risk that everyone involved, not just National Guard, but certainly everyone involved in federal law enforcement, dealing with immigration enforcement is going to be looking at, and it'll probably change their security posture going forward.
Yeah, no kidding. Of course they're going to. That's usually how that works. Real quick, man, as we do a little intermission here, let's just get the money part.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Perfect. She said it.
Denied.
So, Hal, Afghanistan. Again, very early, and time will tell what the precise motive is here. But when you hear Afghan national, what comes to mind about Afghanistan specifically?
Well, specifically, I'm sure, and this is what the FBI will be looking at very closely, is there any
Me too, Pablo.
affiliation with a known international terrorist group or movement? Al-Qaeda obviously comes immediately to mind. ISIS is another case that comes immediately to mind. And we've seen a number of, certainly we saw 9/11, that was Al-Qaeda, but we see a number of ISIS
And Ray's Moto Life sends in $5. Just kidding.
attacks. Some not as big, some smaller in scope, a lot more what we call lone wolf type things, where an individual or a couple of individuals go out and do stuff, and it could involve firearms. We've seen active shooting situations, famously in San Bernardino about 10 years ago at a inland regional center out here, close, not too far from where I am. That's where there was a ISIS-inspired, ISIS-affiliated couple that went in and shot the place up. But we've also,
I think I remember that, but it's not like super, super vivid in my memory here.
also seen vehicle ramming attacks here in the U.S., overseas, that were clearly inspired by ISIS. And they're going to be looking at all of these connections. And they're obviously going to be asking the question of whether this was something that this person did of their own volition, or if this was something they were directed to do. So they'll be looking at all their social media. They'll be looking at all of their communications. They'll be looking at their laptop, any electronic digital device that they have, to find out, is there any communication? Is this just right now? We see the one individual. We don't see any other co-conspirators. But
right. So let me go ahead and scroll through here and see if there's any breaking tweets. It looks like there's one here from Brooke Taylor. Breaking law enforcement sources tell me the shooter who shot 2 National Guard members in D.C. is an illegal immigrant from Afghan who came in during Operation Allies Welcome under Biden. Operation Allies Welcome, that's what it is, under Biden administration and overstayed that visa. Wow.
Oh shit! Oh
shit!
Allies welcome, Hal. Can you expand on what Brooke is alluding to there?
Well, this is, we as you recall, we pulled out of Afghanistan and we brought a lot of Afghans back.
What's up, Rebecca? Up there in Canada. Always appreciate you. Great to see you in the chat.
That have been working with us. So there's a lot of questions as to what was the reason why this individual was brought under Allied Welcome. What was the justification? They're going to be looking at that. They're going to be looking if there was a family situation where there are others involved. What was he doing? And it's my understanding is he is male. That what was he doing with us over there specifically? And they'll be asking all these questions. We may find out that, it could be a lot of different things. Could be that he was, possibly trained with the Afghan national government. Could have been a lot of different things that would indicate. And
well, it sounds like so far, Hardwire, from the chat consensus, from a lot of people have got a lot of information. So far, they're saying that the dude was trained by the CIA. So we're going to find that out, though.
And frankly, tragically, based on what we saw today, he does seem to know his way around a firearm. So we're going to find out more about what was going on there. And we may find out also what his status was, whether he was actively being sought by, ICE. Were they trying to deport him back to Afghanistan?
Probably not.
Was he fearful for his life that if he went back to Afghanistan that the Taliban would get hold of him and harm him or harm his family or something like that? We're going to find out all these things. And right now, that's all big unknown. That's all supposition.
Yeah, I actually did show a video during that time frame, Jason, on the Diamond Effect, actually. I brought up a video of basically all the immigrants, the illegal immigrants that were coming here illegally, obviously, and they were just coming in by the busload, right? And, I mean, literally just walking miles and miles of these motherfuckers, and there's just, like, this guy filming, and, like, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? He's like, everyone's like, I'm going to New York, whatever, all this shit. And meanwhile, these are all people that are military-aged men, like almost no children, almost no women. You know what I mean? It was like, wow, we did see that.
We just don't know much. We just have that one report, which is certainly interesting, certainly a revelation, but probably opens up more questions than it actually answers in many ways.
So, Hal,
true, John,
you and I had
JR,
countless
Jr.
conversations about the deployment of the National Guard to D.C. In general, and time will tell exactly what these troops were doing at the time of the attack. In general, though, what have these Guard members been tasked with doing while they've been in the nation's capital?
Well, it's interesting. In Washington, D.C., it's a little bit different than some of the other locations. They actually have been part of a crime deterrence program. So if this was, as it's kind of implied based on the status of this individual, something where he was striking out against immigration enforcement because of his immigration status, which is that's an inference. It may not be the case. But in Washington, D.C., they were actually out there patrolling as a deterrent to crime. And
what's up, Pitbull? Over there in England, man, I very much appreciate you. Hopefully you're enjoying your, well, to you, it's just another day for you. But it's Thanksgiving here, man, so very much appreciate you. And thanks for hanging out with us.
Reports are that they have.
And also, real quick, since I'm on pause, make sure you guys hit that like button. I very much appreciate you guys hitting that like. Listen, you guys don't have to like the craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and my takes and what we do here, man. So thank you guys for that. Double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side.
Some success in doing that. And actually, some of the things they were doing were kind of, it didn't need it probably. And that's the question that the federal judge had, was do you really need the National Guard to do this? But they were picking up trash, cleaning up the area, moving homeless people out of certain areas.
Yeah, SNS, one of the, I forget her name, damn it, right here, Brooke Taylor. She said, law enforcement sources tell me the shooter who shot 2 National Guard members in D.C. is an illegal immigrant from Afghan who came in during Operation Allies Welcome under Biden administration and overstayed that visa.
Areas, basically making the city look more welcoming to visitors and trying to create an atmosphere of safety and security throughout the city. And so that's what the National Guard's mission was. And outside the near the White House, which this was reported to be near the White House, I don't think they were actively engaged in any operations with ICE for immigration enforcement. Actually, I think they were there more of a military presence for safety and security. And what's kind of interesting is my understanding with the West Virginia now.
Damn, real quick, Ray comes out and says, yes, the National Guard members that were shot was a 20-year-old and a 24-year-old. They had volunteered to work on Thanksgiving. Damn, bro, that's fucking terrible.
National Guard, there was about 300 to 400 that were deployed, but during Thanksgiving, because it's a holiday, they were going to reduce their presence, and because West Virginia is...
I don't have a take on this until I have all the facts here, Joe. That's what we're trying to figure out, is actually figuring out the facts. Of course, it's terrible. I think that this is another situation, unfortunately, where the left-leaning and all the left policies are detrimental to the United States. And this is a prime example of it. But this is not just the example. There's many, many, many examples of this kind of shit. But this is just being extra highlighted because it's the mainstream media.
Very close to Washington, D.C. They were going to reduce their presence in the district down to about 160. So it is very likely that these two individuals that were shot were part of the 160 that were staying back. And it sounded like the 160 that were staying back in many cases, if not every case, but in many cases, that was a voluntary thing where they asked, would you be willing to stay back to help out? And one of the things that they were doing, or going to be doing on Thanksgiving, was actually serving meals, Thanksgiving dinners. So it's extremely tragic what's occurred here, but it is kind of strange that this appears to have been tied maybe to an immigration issue, but these...
Who knows? He's speculating, which we don't need. So Bill Melgen, I think that's how you say it, tweeted out, breaking, per multiple federal law enforcement sources, the suspect is in custody for shooting the two National Guard soldiers in D.C. is an Afghan national who entered the U.S. on 9/8/2021. Okay, that's September 8th, 2021, as part of the Biden administration's Operation Allies. Welcome in the aftermath of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. I'm told his permission to be here or to be in the U.S. expired in September of this year, and he is now in the country illegally. I have a name and date of birth, but I am waiting for further confirmation. Definitely interesting here. We don't need to hear him read it because I just did it.
As the Taliban were taking over. And of course, the reason they wanted to get out was because they were in fear for their lives, for themselves and their families, that the Taliban would seek retribution against them for having...
What's up, Agrillapis? Good morning and happy Thanksgiving to you as well, man. Great to see you in the chat.
Been working with the U.S. government against the Taliban and certainly against any other violent extremist groups that were operating against the Afghan national government there, to include Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And so...
No kidding, Ray. Well, the truth is the facts of the equation are too fast, too quick, and not sexy enough, really. So people need to speculate to be able to get some sort of viewership in the media. Of course, that's how stories are made, right? But that's what we don't do, at least here. We are just trying to figure out the facts of the equation. I want to figure out why certain things are happening. I want to know what, who, why, when, where. I want to know those questions. That's it. And truth be told, those simple facts, a lot of people don't really care about. They say they do, but truthfully, they really like the entertainment, the storylines, speculation, shit like that. So
I'm sure he was, that was probably his motivation for coming over here. And in September, when he was told that his time had expired, I have no doubt he was looking around the world and saying, where do I go? And going back to Afghanistan, that I don't think that really has changed much. It's still a tough place, still run by the Taliban. And what has changed, though, is a number of countries, particularly in Europe, have also tightened up their immigration rules. And so it's a lot tougher for some of these immigrants that were here as refugees under a special status to go to another country where they can avoid possible retribution by the Taliban.
not an assassin, but definitely a terrorist.
Banner, those that they were fleeing. And that's been it's an issue that certainly impacts Afghanistan, but we've also seen recently Haitian refugees were facing being repatriated back to Haiti. And
so it'd be really nice if we could get like a photo of this guy, but unfortunately there isn't on this one. So now Trump comes out and speaks on this. He makes a video message on the DC shooting. So let's go ahead and figure out what Trump is saying here on this equation here. And here we go.
President Trump is actually speaking right now.
And this is a very quick update. It's only 4 minutes.
Let's go ahead and go to that.
In the history of our nation's capital, the DC Safe and Beautiful Task Force, which has achieved an unprecedented reduction.
This is a shitty ass fucking audio setup that he's on right now. This is crazy.
In violent crime and crimes of all types.
They're trying to fix it.
This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity. The hearts of all Americans tonight are with those 2 members of the West Virginia National Guard and their families. The love of our entire country is pouring out for them, and we are lifting them up in our prayers. As we are filled with anguish and grief for those who were shot, we're also filled with righteous anger and ferocious resolve. As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price. I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021.
What's up, Atlanta Falcons? Appreciate you. Hopefully you also have a wonderful Thanksgiving, you and yours.
On those infamous flights that everybody was talking about, nobody knew who was coming in. Nobody knew anything about it. His status was extended under legislation signed by President Biden.
Shit.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Stupid! Disastrous president, the worst in the history of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about. No country can tolerate such a risk to our very survival. An example is Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians.
Yeah, Minnesota is a bad case of some shit like that.
Are ripping off our country and ripping apart that.
It's not just Somalis up there, by the way, but there is a big portion of them up there, yes. But it's not just Somalis.
Once great state. Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good. We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror. And at the same time, we will not be deterred from the mission these service members were so nobly fulfilling. That is why tonight I can announce that I have directed the Department of War to mobilize an additional 500 troops to help protect our capital city. We will make America totally safe again, and we will bring the perpetrator of this barbaric attack to swift and certain justice if the bullets going in the opposite direction haven't already done that. During this time of the year, when we gather at home with loved ones, these 2 patriots were wearing the uniform of our country, patrolling the streets of our capital. They had taken a selfless oath to defend our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that is exactly what they were doing when they were gunned down in a savage attack. I want to express my extraordinary gratitude to every member of the United States military who is deployed tonight, at home and abroad. I also want to thank the Secret Service and the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department for their work today. This Thanksgiving, I ask every family to say a prayer for the 2 great heroes who were so horribly shot.
Yeah, it's terrible.
For their loved ones, please say a prayer. May God bless them and comfort them, and may God bless and protect the United States of America. Thank you and good night.
Good shit. All right, so now we have our final update, well, at least in this lineup for right now. I'll double check my sources and make sure that we're completely up to date. But now we're going to move over to Kash Patel and Jeanine Pirro, or however you say her fucking name. Update on National Guard shooting. So it's the judge. I don't know how to pronounce her name because I don't give a fuck. Anyways, here we go.
All right.
Why are they so extra fucking loud? Damn.
Come on, Mayor. Okay. Next to me, Mayor.
Just get to it. Yeah, you're good, lady.
All right. Thank you all for being here on this difficult...
Oh my God, it sounds like they're on a potato phone or something, dude. Are you serious?
Day. As you know, my name is Jeanine Pirro. I am the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, and I am joined here by several individuals who represent agencies who have been working around the clock since this horrific event happened. To my left, we have the director of the FBI. We have General Leland Blanchard of the National Guard. Mayor Bowser is here as well. We have Frank Saldana of the D.
Oh man, I very much appreciate that, Agrillipus. And yeah, man, I love doing what I do. I hope that you guys genuinely see that I enjoy doing this and having a good time with all of you guys.
DA Chris Hecht of DHS, Executive Assistant Chief Jeffrey Carroll of the MPD, Darren Cox of the Washington FBI Field Office, and a Special Agent in Charge, Samuel Ward of the ATF in Washington. Now, I want to provide you with an update on the tragic shooting that occurred on two brave members of the West Virginia...
Okay, I hope that she got some good fucking updates here. She led off with that.
Virginia National Guard as they served in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, today, as most families join together to give thanks for the blessings that have been bestowed upon them, two families are shattered and destroyed and torn apart as a result of the actions of one man. First and foremost, our hearts go out to the victims and their families. These are dedicated service members who were performing their duties in service to our nation.
Yes, we know that. Please give me the update.
And they are currently in critical condition. They have undergone surgery.
Wow, both of them.
Pray for their well-being as they continue to be cared for in the best possible way.
Wow, they both survived.
We have been in constant
contact
with their families and have provided them with every resource needed during this difficult time. The two National Guards men that we're talking about are Sarah Beckstrom, who's 20 years old, and Andrew Wolf, who is
wow, a woman and a man,
24 years old. They were uniformed members of the West Virginia National Guard, and they were in D.C. to keep D.C. safe, pursuant to President Trump's executive order to make D.C. safe and beautiful. They answered the call, they took the charge, they volunteered, they put their lives on the line for people they don't even know.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately, is becoming a reality more and more for the members of law enforcement. Yesterday on Thanksgiving Eve at approximately 2:15, near 17th and I Streets in the northwest section of the district, near the Farragut West Metro Station, two uniformed guardsmen were ambushed in a brazen and targeted attack. A lone gunman opened fire without provocation, ambush style, armed with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver.
Wow.
One guardsman is struck, goes down.
Because I was also sitting here going, like, did this guy, like, use an AR or something like that, have some distance from them? Or did this guy come up with a handgun? Guess he came up with a .357 Smith & Wesson.
And then the shooter leans over and strikes the guardsman again. Another guardsman is struck several times. Fellow guardsmen who were there responded immediately, engaging the suspect, neutralizing the threat, and subduing him at the scene. He was transported to a local hospital where he remains, as we speak, under heavy guard. Thanks to the swift and coordinated response of the National Guard and the Metropolitan Police Department, no additional victims were harmed, and the scene was secured
thank God,
within minutes. The suspect, he has been identified as Ramanullah Lakanwal, a 29-year-old...
What?
Bruh.
Stupid.
...old Afghan.
Let me hear that shit again.
He has been identified as Ramanullah Lakanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan who entered the United States under Biden's Operation Allies Welcome, a program following the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. He resided in Bellingham, Washington with his wife and, we believe, 5 children. We're working very closely with our federal partners, especially DHS and the FBI, to review his immigration history and the vetting process itself. What we know about him is that he drove his vehicle across country from the state of Washington with the intended target of coming to our nation's capital. As we stand here,
what up, trigger warning? Good morning to you and happy Thanksgiving.
Today, the charges that are appropriate right now are 3 counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, a violation of DC Code 22-401 and DC Code 22-4502. He will also be charged with possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. He faces 15 years under the assault with the intent to kill. We intend to get...
That's all he gets is 15 years for that? What? Isn't there fucking like people doing like 20 plus years, which is considered life, 20 plus years like for marijuana charges and shit? What? 15 years?
Continue monitoring what the charges will be depending upon the well-being of the guardsmen. We are praying that they survive and that the highest charge will not have to be murder in the first degree. But make no mistake, if they do not, that will certainly be the charge, murder in the first degree. The Department of Justice under Attorney General Pam Bondi is committed to a thorough and an impartial investigation where we will hold this perpetrator accountable under the full weight of the law. Now, Sarah and Andrew volunteered. They came here to protect the people of the district pursuant to a crime emergency that President Trump rightly declared in this city and in other cities across the country. Our nation's capital should not and must not be a place where evil comes to commit violence, whatever their cause or motive may be. We should not have to live in fear in the nation's capital, especially by one who came here from a foreign country. And through a process that was so absurd that he came through and released into this country, as many were, knowing virtually nothing about his vetting. This is what happens in this country when people are allowed in who are not properly vetted. These guardsmen and all who are here to protect the district are the line that separates a civilized society from a barbaric one. They are the ones who stand for law and order. This was not just an attack. It was a direct challenge to law and order in
no kidding, 305.
Our nation's capital. And the individual will be made fully accountable. And though it seems that we have been here before under President Trump, make no mistake, and the Attorney General, we will not allow this to be normalized. It will be...
Well, yeah, I hope fucking not. It's because it is becoming normalized. That's the sad part. Real quick, make sure you guys do me a favor, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the horizontal side and double tap that screen on the vertical side. We've got over 150 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys do that favor for me. I know it's a very laborious task, but hey, I appreciate it.
Confronted, condemned, and prosecuted.
Oh, and also, you know, I think this is a good time again to remember to embrace thy fuck.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future. Quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
To the full extent of the law. Now, my message to the individual who committed these acts is you picked the wrong target, the wrong city, and the wrong country, and you will be sorry for the violence and the evil that you perpetrated in our nation's capital. And now I call upon the director of the FBI, Kash Patel. Thanks.
It is an Afghan national that got brought over here by the Biden administration in September of 2021, and he came here and supposedly. I haven't heard them say this yet, but according to recent reports saying that he was actually trained by the CIA. But nonetheless, I can't even pronounce the guy's name. It's some serious, you know, Afghani shit.
Judge, I'll begin my remarks and my remarks the same way, with prayer for our fallen soldiers, prayer for our law enforcement community, prayer for our National Guardsmen and women, prayer for our brave prosecutors at the Department of Justice and the offices of the D.C. United States Attorney. We must come together as a nation, especially on this thing.
Man, so she just talks so fucking loud that she overdoes the volume, and they had to bring up Kash Patel.
Thanksgiving Day, and remember the sacrifices that so many are making around the world and around this country to secure our freedoms under President Trump's brilliant leadership and administration. I'll provide an update on the case as follows. It is an ongoing investigation of terrorism. Make no mistake about it. The FBI is leading out on this federal assault on a federal law enforcement officer investigation on many fronts. We immediately, with our law enforcement partners in the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, secured the scene, seized the weapon, sent in our evidence response team immediately to collect evidence, and started doing block by block canvasses. We are looking for and interviewing witnesses. The firearm and other materials have been sent to our Quantico laboratory already yesterday for immediate analysis. That work is ongoing. Partnering with the D.C. United States Attorney's Office, we have also executed multiple search warrants around the country to include the subject's last known residence, which is in the state of Washington. The search warrant was executed on that house last night or early this morning, and it is an ongoing process. All the individuals found in the house have been interviewed, and some interviews remain ongoing. We will not stop until we interview anyone and everyone associated with the subject, the house, and every piece of his life. There's also subject interviews, relations conducted in San Diego.
Are you talking to me, Vengeful Truther? Is that you? Are you talking to me? Because he's not an American citizen. He's an Afghan national. The guy that we're talking about right here, that did the killing of the national, or the attempt of murder of the 2 National Guard. Yeah, he's from Afghanistan. And his visa ran up September of this year. So he's theoretically here illegally right now.
For ongoing investigation. So, as the judge noted, this is a coast-to-coast investigation being led right here in Washington, D.C. And this subject definitely did pick the wrong country. And we will rise together as a nation to show the world what we do here. And we are thankful that we have the Attorney General's brave leadership and President Trump's brave leadership and priorities to safeguard our communities. I also spoke to Director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, last night, and Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. We are fully investigating that aspect of his background as well, to include any known associates that are either overseas or here in the United States of America. That is what a broad-based international terrorism investigation looks like. We will provide continuous details to the American public while at the same time not jeopardizing the ongoing prosecution to ultimately hold this perpetrator accountable in our courts of law. We will provide as much transparency as possible, but as you can see, the breadth and scope of this investigation will continue. We will continue to hit the streets and hit every town and every house and talk to every witness. The men and women of the FBI and the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, to include the Department of Homeland Security, DEA, and ATF, are working tirelessly on this Thanksgiving Day. And
real quick, make sure you guys do me a favor. We've got 264 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the horizontal side. Double tap that screen for us. You guys don't have to like the craziness around the world, but you guys can do it for what we do here, man. So thank you guys.
I know just by talking to the leaders behind me that instead of going on and being with their families, everyone rogered up and showed up to work today, and none of them want to go home. That's the resolve that we have together as a team to bring to you justice for this heinous act of terrorism here in our nation's capital. And as the judge said, we will ensure that our law enforcement partners are out there in full force to make sure the world can enjoy our nation's capital. We will not let this heinous act of violence prevent people from visiting our beautiful nation's capital. And we will also continue to highlight any evidence that we can publicly. And as the judge said, this individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone: because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet anyway, in any way, shape, or form, this individual and countless others, and this administration has taken the rightful step to stop any further allowance of people with this similar background into the country, and we're thankful for that. And as I said, this investigation remains ongoing, and I think I'll turn it over to General Blanchard of the National Guard now. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. All across America this morning, families are waking up. They'll spend the day with their children, their brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, friends from across the community. There will be the smell of turkey, all the
Oh, come on, man.
fixings.
We know that.
They'll watch parades, football games.
Going straight into the heartstrings. Of course, yes, it is terrible, bro. But you don't even need to sauce it up.
They'll pray together.
You could have just said on Thanksgiving Day or on the day before Thanksgiving, you know.
They'll talk about
It's
what
terrible.
they're grateful for. This morning, there are 2 families that will not have that opportunity. Andy and Sarah's families, they're spending the day reflecting on the past. And in the days coming, they'll reflect on and think about what could have been, what might be. Because regardless of the outcome, we know that their lives, their families' lives are all changed forever. Because one person decided to do this horrific and evil thing. And all across America, we are also reminded that there are many law enforcement agents, first responders, soldiers, service members all around the world who at best will come home, eat some cold turkey, open up Tupperware, eat what's left over, because they spent the day defending the American ideals, getting out there and getting after it on every American citizen's behalf. I will say that the District of Columbia National Guard, this task force, is more committed this morning to the President's directive to make DC safe and beautiful. Our resolve will be tested. It is being tested, but make no mistake, each and every one of these soldiers and airmen will meet and exceed the expectation that we have for them. They are, in fact, America's best. I'm proud of each and every one of them. I pray for each and every one of them today, and in particular, for these 2 young service members who are willing to go above and beyond and pay whatever price our nation asks of them. I ask every American today to keep them in their thoughts and prayers as you go about your day. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Mayor, where's Mayor Bowser? Yeah.
Thank you, Judge. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. and
Who's also not rerunning this next election, which is awesome.
And I want to associate myself with the remarks of our Adjutant General from the D.C. National Guard. I want to be very clear what the judge and everyone has reported here. If somebody drove across the country, came to Washington, D.C. to attack America, and that person will be prosecuted
Actual take from her. Wow.
to the fullest extent of the law. These young people should be at home in West Virginia with their families.
And she kept that short and sweet right there. Yeah, she's not rerunning. She's not trying to say something to get herself reelected. She's already out of the race.
ETF, anybody? DHS? Anyone? Okay. I also want to say that
Damn,
both
she
Sarah
is
and
so fucking loud. That loud fucking mouth. Bitch.
Andrew, I believe, were sworn in less than 24 hours before they were shot on the street in Washington. Any questions? You know, as the director has indicated, this is a fluid investigation. People are working around the clock. It's too soon to say what the motive is, but there are definitely areas that we're looking into, but not ready to say.
I can't hear the question.
Yeah, he got shot by another guardsman, yeah.
You mentioned earlier that the shooter had initially shot one of the guardsmen, then leaned over as they were
Shot him again. Yep.
Wow.
Well, the specific number, look, he had a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. Okay, so I believe that's a 6-shooter. Yeah. So, you know, that kind of tells us
I like how she said that. It's a 6-shooter.
many shots he had. Yes. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about whether they should have been there. We ought to kiss the ground and thank God that the president said it's time to bring in more law enforcement to make sure that a city that had the 4th highest homicide rate in the country was that violence was quelled. I'm not even going to go there.
Damn. Jesus.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Well, you miss all the signs when you do absolutely zero vetting. And that's exactly what happened in this case. When you, in the prior administration, made the decision to allow thousands of people into this country without doing a single piece of background checking or vetting, that's how you miss every single sign. And Secretary Kristi Noem has put out details specifically related to your other questions, so I'll let that speak for themselves. Yes, I believe Kristi Noem put that out, and that's a DHS matter, and I'll refer it to them.
Can you elaborate on the investigative steps that were taken?
Sure.
You mentioned Bellingham, Washington.
Sure.
Can you explain the San Diego connection?
So what happened was, thanks to the quick investigation by the interagency and the FBI, we were able to track down his last known residence. Working with the United States Attorney's offices here and at the Department of Justice and prosecutors across the country, we were able to serve search warrants literally overnight and through the night.
All night.
And we were able to hit the house in Washington State. During that process, we seized numerous electronic devices to include cell phones, laptops, iPads, and other material that is being analyzed as we speak. Pursuant to that investigation and any known associates of the subject and of that house is how we ended up in San Diego, where interviews were conducted and are going to be continued to be conducted. And we will go anywhere in the country or the world where the evidence leads us.
What's up, Christopher Collins, and happy Thanksgiving to you, sir. We're almost through this. We only got a couple minutes left.
All of that is an ongoing investigation.
Can anyone give an update as far as Sarah and Andrew, who were injured? You say critical condition. Can you give anything beyond that? Are they expected to make it? Is it touching?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. That's probably the best question so far.
It is Sarah Beckstrom, Beckstrom, and Andrew Wolf with an E, Wolfe. Okay, and Sarah Beckstrom, S with an H. Okay. Now, with respect to their medical condition, as I said, they're receiving the finest medical care. Their families are with them now. They are critical. I think you understand the meaning of that. It's not clear, how this is going to end up. But let me be perfectly clear about how it will end up in this office. If one of them is to pass, and God forbid that happens, this is a murder one. Period. End of the story. We are praying on a day like today when families come together in America and they hold hands around the Thanksgiving table. I beg you, I beseech you to pray for these two young people that they survive. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah.
That's where she called it right there.
Yeah, we're not going there.
She said, yeah, we're not going there. Shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you guys enough. Obviously, I can't do this show without you guys. I'm very honored to be able to do this. We've got over 200 people in here. Make sure you guys stick around for the raid. We're going to be sending you guys off to my buddy JS, Urban Adventures. Let them know that we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. And listen, make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out, as well as double tap that screen, man. I very much appreciate you guys on the vertical side. All right. Much love, honor, and respect to everybody. God bless everyone, and hopefully you all enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to be back with more of the world's madness tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. CST. As you guys always know, it's what we do around here. So anyways, much love. God bless. We'll see you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand.
Oh, shit. $5, man. Thanks for reading my comments. I still read it, motherfucker.